In this video, I'm going to show you 3 methods you can use in Photoshop to add contrast to an image to give it that extra pop. Hey, this is George Qua-Enoo. You can find me on Instagram at GeorgeQ. Let's dive right into it. Here is an image that I've just finished retouching. It's a little bit flat for me here, and I always like my images a bit flat to start, and because the final recipe that I add to it before I go into Capture One to do my final color grading is to add a contrast to the image. So here is that let's start with it. The first method that most people use, so I also use, will be the curve layer. So I'll create a curve layer, come to the adjustment panel, and create a curve layer. And to give you a good start, I'll come here into the preset, and under preset I'll scroll down into medium contrast. You select that, and the algorithm here will, depending on the your image, it will either add more shadow, drop down, or it will add more of the highlight to the image to add the contrast to it. So with this, specifically come here, and the medium contrast where the image, it will add a bit of shadows to it to add more contrast. And what it does with the S curve, it normally boosts the colors a little bit. It saturates the colors a bit more. But as I mentioned before, I do all my final color grading in Capture One, so I'll rather not introduce any colors here. With this specific image, I don't want to boost any colors in Photoshop. This looks good. It looks good. Anyone can accept this image, but for me, I'll just go here into luminosity just to get rid of the color saturation. I'll go into the blend mode and select luminosity, and there it has reduced the color boost, the saturation that it introduced. So there we go, before and after, before and after. So this is for the S-curve layer for the contrast. What you can do here, you can also adjust opacity to your taste, based on what you're looking for. Okay, so let me hide this layer, and then we will go into the second method, which I use will be the black and white layer, contrast layer. So again, we come here to the adjustment layer, and we select the black and white layer. Of course, it is the black and white. So with this image, it turns into black and white. So what we do here, what I'll do, I'll come here into the preset again, and then I'll select the maximum black. Yeah, maximum black, and it will boost all the blacks in the image. So that's really good. If you're doing the black and white adjustment, I tend to use this as well. But that will be another tutorial. I'll go into more details in doing black and white. But this one here, see how it has a different boost to the image. But we're not done here, okay? Because we don't want black and white. We're going for a color contrast. So I'll change the blend mode to soft light, and this is what we got here. And to refine it a bit more, what I'll do here further, because we have in this image, we have some red, we have yellow, and we have green. So for me, I'll either try to reduce the red a little bit here, and then maybe boost the yellows slightly, And the greens, I'll just desaturate the green I see here. The green just a bit. Go back to the yellow and see how. So yeah, so that looks okay to me. And so we have here, that's before, after, before, after. Wow, check the difference there. But here we can also reduce the opacity to your taste, and then we have, so this one I'll probably bring it down to 60%. So that's before, after, and that's the black and white contrast layer. Okay, so let me hide this one, and then I'll show you the final one. The final one, the contrast method that I use will be the levels. Okay, so again, we come here to adjustment panel. I'll select the levels, create a levels layer, and what I'll do here, as obviously you guys come here and select darker. By the way, you can experiment. You can experiment with a preset here to see how that effect that you get. Okay, so this is the mid-tone, but for me mid-tone's darker, but I'll come here darker in general because I don't want too much of it to it. So what I'll do here, you can play here with the shadows, the sliders here. Come to the histogram here, under it, can play with the shadows here, just reduce a little bit, and I'll reduce the highlight a bit, not too much, just slightly here. And also you can work with the mid-tones here for under here. And then as you guys come here, you can change the blend mode to soft light. This works really well if you are shooting some outdoor lifestyle, vibrant, you want to warm, vibrant colors, like it adds some warm tones to the image, but also adds some contrast. So for me, as I said before, I don't want to introduce any color here yet to the image. So but just what I'll do, I'll just reduce the opacity here slight. Maybe this one probably say 50%. Yeah, so this is before, after, before, and after. But you don't have to stop here. There's so much you can do with these channels here, even the RGB, the red and green channels here, you can work around. Same with the preset, you can just come in and play with that preset that already given, work with the highlight, the darks and the mid-tones, and see how the effect that you get. Right, so I don't have a favorite. I wouldn't say I have a favorite. I enjoy all three methods depending on the specific images that I'm editing for the client and for my own work, what looks pleasing to my eye. Okay, so these are the methods that I will use. Anyone will work for you, whichever one works for you, use that. So again, we start with the curve layer. Here you create an S curve. So for the curves, before, this is after, before, after, and then for the black and white, before, after, and then finally with the levels, that's before, after. Okay, so play with it, practice on your own images and see what you get, and let me know what you think. If you have any other methods, give me in the comments. But yeah, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Instagram at GeorgeQ. Thank you for watching.